Hi, it's Harry Fine, your Ontario residential landlord expert, giving you some more tips and advice on how to stay out of trouble and understand the system. How long does it take to get rid of a tenant? People ask me that all the time. How long does an eviction take? Or can I just ask them to leave? Well, the answer is complicated. It's like asking how long is a length of string. You can ask a tenant any time to go, but the tenant doesn't have to go. And the tenants know that, and the tenants won't go unless they have to go. And when do they have to go? A tenancy only ends if it ends in accordance with the Residential Tenancies Act. So if you file an application and the Landlord-Tenant Board evicts the tenant, then the tenancy ends and they have to go. If the tenant gives notice, then of course they leave. If the tenant and landlord agree to end the tenancy, then the tenant will leave. But other than those situations, except maybe a tenant dying, a tenancy doesn't have to end, and a tenancy will never end. It takes about 3 months to actually get the hearing. And sometimes it's more than one hearing, either because there's lots of evidence to give, or because there's so many cases in front of the board that day that they never get through them. If you come back because it's adjourned to another day, then that's another 3 months. Assuming you win, the board will issue an order for eviction, and the sheriff will enforce the judgment, usually in about a month or 6 weeks. So it's a long process, probably 6, 7, sometimes 8 months to evict. But it can be longer. Tenants have a right to file a review of the decision if they lose. A review is an internal process of the Landlord-Tenant Board. They try to fix their own mistakes with reviews. They try to fix their mistakes before it goes to the appeal process at the Superior Court. If the tenant files an appeal at the Superior Court, it could take a long time. Could take a year. Could take more than a year. There are cases I see today in June 2025 coming before the Superior Courts, the Divisional Court, for eviction, for a final decision where the initial application to the board was in 2023. So it can take a long time. And if you go to the appeal process at the Superior Court, you'll need a lawyer, and that's very expensive. So factor all these things in before you decide to become a landlord. Certainly factor them in before you decide how much it's worth to pay your tenant to leave rather than going through the LTB process. The LTB process is slow, complicated, and expensive. You can get more information on all grounds for eviction and how to do it yourself at landlordtraining.ca. Talk to you later.